Hey everybody, welcome to the 24-hour marketing mastermind weekly hangout. We've got an awesome hangout planned for you this evening or daytime, wherever you are in the world. We're going to have a great time here tonight. But before we get into it, my name is Steve. I just want to tell you a little bit of a backstory about myself. When it comes to online marketing, I first got introduced to the online world back in 2013, and I immediately got hooked on this whole internet marketing lifestyle. I love the communities that you can build, the friendships that you forge in this industry, and the lifestyle that it can give you, most importantly. But like everybody else, I didn't find success straight off the bat. I had my struggles. I actually struggled for at least 1.5 years before I found success. And I tried everything. I tried affiliate marketing. I tried network marketing. I even tried some of those revenue sharing websites. All of that stuff is no good. Well, the revenue sharing websites aren't good. Affiliate marketing is good. Network marketing is ace because, we're an Empower network, yeah? And it wasn't until I finally joined iPass and Empower Network where I finally started to find my groove when it came to this online world. And I have to thank Dave Reinicke, my sponsor, who's also on this hangout with us today. And without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. So thank you, Dave. So the title of this hangout is How to Become Successful by Working Backwards. And Dave is going to go into full details about all that. So you want to stick around till the end because it's going to be a great hangout. So before we get started today with the good stuff, I just want to give you guys a fun fact about South African language. All right, I'm not sure where you guys are in the world. You must be spanning the whole globe right now. But here in South Africa, we have this thing where we say just now, like I'm going to be there just now. Now, to the average person, just now means immediately you're going to take action. You're going to do what you say you're going to do at that moment when you said just now, but not to us South Africans. When we say just now, that could mean 1 minute, 30 minutes, 2 hours, or even 2 days from the time we said we're going to do what we said we were going to do. So that's just a little bit of a fun factoid for you guys this evening. So Dave, why don't you give us one more fun fact about South African language?
Wow, fun fact about South African language. Let me think. Okay. Well, I mean, now I'm drawing a blank. Oh yeah, we have this. This is actually something. We have this dish in this country where we cook a meal. It's called a potjie, and a potjie is something. It's something only a South African can make. I've actually seen a foreigner try to do it, and it just doesn't work out. It turns out to be a stew. There's a certain way you have to actually make a potjie, but it comes in this very weird shaped pot. It's kind of like curved, and it's made of like cast iron, and you put this on the fire. And I remember a long time ago, we had an English guy come over, and he said he wants to make this potjie. So we said, okay, fine, and we gave him all the ingredients, and he put everything in. And at the end of the day, it just turned out to be a stew. It's quite weird the way that actually worked out. But anyway, yeah, potjie is what we do. And we also don't say barbecue. When we're cooking meat on a grill, it's called a braai. You know, the way it's supposed to be said, braai, not barbecue. So, yeah, that's just an interesting fun fact about South Africa. Yeah. Thanks, Steve, for that great intro. Steve's actually killing it online, and I wanted to talk to you guys about a very interesting subject, and that is working backwards to be successful. And I want to go into that, but before I do, I just want to cover a few things. The first thing I want to say is I first want to say welcome to Barrett Zeller, who just joined the team, and congratulations, man. You're on the team. You're on a winning side, and he just signed up today, and I just wanted to give a shout out to him. He's going to be successful, and if you guys see him in the group, just say hi, and just say how you doing and all that stuff. Okay, so welcome, Barrett, to the team. All right, the next thing I want to say is that if you are new in Empower Network or iPass for that matter, what I want to say to get started, just to give you an overview, because I've had this question, I get this time and time and time again, and I got asked it again today. What must I do to get started? It's kind of like, you know, people get in the system, they don't know what to do. And the first thing I want to say is you want to log into your back office of the Empower Network system or the iPass system. But for this particular subject, talking about Empower, the same principle applies. You log into the back office and you go ahead and you start training. Now, in Empower Network, there is a section called the Level Up Sequence. You need to go through that, and you need to follow those videos. And each video will unlock one after the other. And it's very important to go through those steps. And it's also important to see how far you can actually go up those steps. Now, obviously, as you go up in the Level Up Sequence, there are more products available to you that is going to make your life a lot easier, instead of you having to do so much of the research, so you can figure that out for yourself. The great thing about Empower Network is everything is under one roof, so you don't need to go searching for stuff. Everything is there for you. And the next thing you need to do is to make sure that you go through the Fast Start training, and that is the 8 core commitments. Very important. A lot of people look over that and they think, oh, well, you know, it's not that important. But let me tell you that every single person who's made a success of this business, sooner or later, you look back at those 8 core commitments and you actually realize you need to go through those to be successful. So make sure you do that. And then, of course, which I would think you would do, is to go through everything in the back office so you understand everything about the system. You know, there are walkthroughs. There's just so much helpful content there that you can apply to your business. And another great thing about the Empower Network is that it has everything coded for you. You know, when you start a business online and you want to get started, one of the obstacles you have to get over is the technical aspect of setting up, you know, the HTML code, PHP coding. If you don't know any of that, you're kind of dead in the water. But that's when this system takes things to a whole nother level, because it really is as simple as clicking a mouse and just following a couple of instructions. And when you actually get into the system, you can start blogging within a minute of like 7 clicks of the mouse. It's that simple to set up. So that's what I want to say to all new people who are getting started. Do that. What we're going to be covering today is, for those of you who have been around, and even for the new people, this is something you also want to listen to. And that is, as I said in the beginning, it says working backwards. Now, this actually came about through a conversation I was having with a friend of mine. And we were just talking about how we actually got started right from the beginning. And it actually triggered a memory that I completely forgot about when I got started with the system. I don't know why, but I think it's just been so long that I've completely forgotten about what I used to do. And actually, Stephen did exactly the same thing that I did, and that is why he saw so much success so quickly. And so I want to give you this information because I believe that it is so important to do this, because it also sets for yourself a good foundation for which you can build your business. Now, we all know that when we get traffic from the strategies we learn inside Empower Network and the iPass system, we learn traffic strategies to help us get people to our offer that we're offering. You know, so we work out these strategies, and we also have a very good free course available to people inside the 24-hour mastermind group that gets results extremely quickly. All you have to do is to be consistent and follow that training, and that course is inside the 24-hour mastermind group. Under the description, you can actually go there and you can check that course out for yourself. Now, getting traffic, believe it or not, is actually the easy part. All right. Once you actually develop a consistent routine and you just follow the strategies and you learn it, you can actually get it down within a few weeks, and you can start developing traffic day after day, and you can start building up huge amounts of traffic over a period of time. But I actually was reminded about what I used to do back in the beginning. And I want to relate this to a story. I used to do trading just like Stephen does, actually, because he's a binary trader. I used to do trading. I used to trade in the stock market. And when I got started, they used to tell us one thing, and that was the trend is your friend. That was something that was just instilled to me from the time I started. They said the trend is your friend, and follow 2 other indicators. Make those 3 indicators match up, and then you can make your trade going up or going down. Calls or puts or whatever you're going to call it. Well, anyway, that is the basic training for trading any sort of commodity. You look for the trend. You use 2 reliable indicators. In my case, it was a stochastic. You don't need to worry what that is, and a Bollinger Band. But you need to make sure that your indicators lined up so that you can make the trade. Now, the great thing about trading is you learn so much information and you get so excited about it. If you've ever been in that industry, it's quite addictive. Just for your information, the reason I don't do it anymore is because it's super stressful. And you work, working with money is a really, really stressful thing, which I'm sure Stephen can attest to that. It's very, very stressful. But anyway, as I started learning about different tactics and different strategies, and I started getting myself involved with learning the Fibonacci sequence for trading, and I got into these advanced courses, and for some reason I wasn't making the same amount of money I was making them before. And then my team leader, who was actually training us, said to me, if you are struggling, go back to the basics, go back to what you used to do in the beginning. And this actually got me thinking about marketing and what I used to do in the beginning when I started out and when I started getting those huge results very quickly. And that was, I started to make I worked backwards, and instead of just promoting my link out there, I would immediately set up my email follow-up campaign. All right. So what I did was I had learned from other marketers that you need a good follow-up campaign so you can actually get your customers to know, like, and trust you. But they were all using emails, so they would just write an email, put the appropriate links inside, and then they would get another email the next day, put the appropriate links inside. And of course, that was great, but I wanted to stand out. I wanted to be a little bit different. So what I did is I made an email that I wrote out, and I put a link inside that email that would say, right, I've made a little video of what you need to do. And they would click on that video and they would go to a landing page. Now, if you don't know how to create a landing page, it's in the free course. I use Optimized Press, which is a paid version, but it's very good. There's also InstaBuilder, and you can also do this on GetResponse, the autoresponder. You can actually make your own landing pages. So I would make my own landing pages, and I would give a title that said what you need to do to get started. All right. Or I would make another, that was just for people that actually bought and do the actual system. But for my leads, I would have a title that said something like, which I'm doing, that says a 5-part video series on what you need to do to build an online business. All right. So that was like kind of like the title of my email. And then in the description, I would say, right, here's a video for you. They click on that link. They would go to a landing page. And in that landing page, I would just have a small title and a video of myself with a background of the actual system, which you can do in Screencast-O-Matic. And in that video, I would just basically talk to the customer. And I would say, I just wanted to say thank you so much for looking at my system. I really just wanted to give you some free information on what you actually need to build an online business. All right. So you could say something like, all right, what you need to do is you can make the first video and say, right, the first thing you need in a business is you need to have a system that works. Okay, so you make a whole video about a system that works. You talk about the fact that you're using a system that works because they've got verified accounts, they've got groups of people posting all sorts of income proofs. You know that they've been around for a while. And especially when you start earning commissions, you can actually show them that in your actual video. But you give them an idea of the system that you're using, and you just talk about the fact that you need a system that actually does produce results. You don't want a system that's just going to lead you down the garden path. Now, you can make that your first video. And then, of course, in your second video, you can make another part to the series talking about the next thing you need in a business is you need traffic. All right. So you could say, you know, in a business, you need to have traffic that goes to a business. So you've got paid traffic and you've got free traffic. And you need to make sure, you need to ask yourself which one you can afford. If you can't afford paid, go for free. And so you talk about that in your video. What you're doing is you're giving people bits of information to build up their trust so they can get to know you. And the most important thing is you're actually warming up that traffic to you. And we always talk about this in the industry, cold traffic versus warm traffic. Now, the thing is, cold traffic is much harder to convert than warm traffic. Warm traffic is when people actually sort of know you because they see you on a video, for instance, in YouTube, and they see you and they go ahead and they check you out and they're like, okay, great. And they look inside and then they see you again. And now they're really heating up to the fact that they actually beginning to trust you. So what you're doing on this video series over a period of days is you're building up trust, you're building up a rapport with your customer. And statistically, a person needs about 5 to 7 exposures before they will purchase anything. All right. That is just a fact. People have discovered that over the years. So when you actually start to build a series, or like I said, about five emails that you send out with 5 capture pages, giving them a video, just giving them a bit of information, you are building this trust with them on the leads that you're getting, so that by the time they hit the 5th video, they know a lot about you. And you can also carry on with that. You can make a 6th video and a 7th video and an 8th video. And you slowly build this up over time. So when people get used to you and they can see you actually producing results, then they will say, hey, you know what, this person actually knows what they're talking about. Let me go ahead and try the system out. And that's what happens is I give people a trial. So normally at the end of each video, I will say, you know, if you would like to give the system a try, you can give it a try for like a couple of bucks for a week. See if you like it. You know, if you don't like it, you can get out. It's as simple as that. Get your money back. You can do whatever you want. But the whole point is you're giving people an option so that they can check out your particular system. All right. And that's the whole point about building up this rapport with people. And what I want to do right now is I just want to share my screen so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to do that right now. Just give me a second. Let's see. Just going to go here. Steven, tell me if you can see the screen.
Yeah, perfect, bro. I can see it.
All right. All right. So as you can see over here, I have a normal, this is just one of my old websites I had before the system. And I've created all of these pages over here. All right. And these pages I've created with Optimized Press. But as I said, you can do this with GetResponse. You can do this with anything. And so what I've done is in this particular video, what I've done here is I'm just going to click on View so you can see it, just to get an idea. And so in this, you can see having a system, part 1, having a system that actually works. Well, the video is going to take a bit of time to actually load because of my internet connection. Just give it a second. So you can see this video that I've made here, having a system that works, right? And then of course they can go ahead and they can get started with the system. You know, if you're not in Empower Network, you can go ahead and get started. And you make this page, and you would do this on the first day. And for instance, now when you go to your actual emails, you can see that I've got a my campaign here has the first email. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. You can go ahead here, and you can say, I've said, hey, it's Dave from the 24-Hour Marketer. I just wanted to say thank you for taking a look at the system I'm using, and I also wanted to give you a formula you can use for success. Here's a video that I made especially for you. So what you're doing is you're giving them the option in this follow-up sequence for the lead, so you can actually build up a rapport with them and build up some sort of trust. And you could do this over, like, here's the second one, here's the third one, here's the third one, and there's the fourth one over there. All right, that's a different one. But I'm actually making these again and making them fresh on my actual follow-up series in my campaign. And if you don't know what an autoresponder is, an autoresponder, let me just stop sharing. If you don't know what an autoresponder is basically, it's like a website that's control all your emails. And you can actually have a whole list of emails that you can send out to people who join your business through opting into your business. So you can send them a follow-up email after that. And that's what I do to warm up the traffic so that they can actually get to know, like, and trust me. And you can do the exact same thing. And the great thing about this type of system is you can do this on your lead side and your buyer side, all right? So what you want to do on your buyer side is you want to create a similar process, but you want to create videos about just giving people little bits of nuggets that you've learned during the week. So maybe you make a first video and you say, all right, now you're in your system. Let me give you an overview of what's actually in the system, because that way you're talking to them and you're communicating with them. And then, of course, they, again, get to trust you even more. And, of course, that's what you want to do. You want to build a rapport with your actual team. And now, to actually keep people on your team, what you want to do is make sure that you email your team the hangout that's playing. So for people in this team, you want to go ahead and you want to give people this link that I put in the group to go ahead and say, right, we're going to be having a hangout. Go and check it out. I'll be on there as well. I'll be, I'll be there asking questions. I'll be there saying hello. And you can go ahead and do that. And that way they can see you, they can talk to you, they can ask questions. And you see, this way, you're showing them that you're part of a community. You want to invite them to the Facebook group. You want to go ahead and perhaps, have a conversation with them on Facebook. If you're bold enough, you can have a conversation with them on Skype. But the whole point is you want to build a rapport with your team. And if you're giving people this information, what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing that you're going to have a lot of people staying in your business. You see, if you just get a person to join, the business, and then you don't do anything after that, now you can have that option. That's entirely up to you. But the truth of the matter is a lot of people don't take action. And all they need is a tiny nudge, a little bit of belief in them. If you show a person that you believe in them, it does wonders for that other person. All right. The one thing that I remember as I was progressing in this business is Ryan Maynard would always encourage me. He would always believe in me, and he would never discourage me. And that is a key element of building a community. We have to be a community of encouragement. You cannot take any negativity inside a community, because it's just going to kill it. You want to encourage people as much as you can, even if they're driving you crazy. The whole point is that at the end of the day, people want to be loved. People want to be needed. People want to know that you care. And if you show that you care just by making a little comment, there is a person in the group. Her name is I think it's Katie. Yeah, it's Katie Stage. I always make fun of that. Katie Stage. She's going to be on stage one day. But anyway, Katie Stage made like a video, and then underneath it, she gave it a little description. But in her description, she mentioned people by name, encouraging people by name, not just tagging a whole lot of people, but the tags were thoughtful. You know, whenever you go and see a post and somebody tags you, and you immediately go, oh, somebody tagged me, you go and check it out. And all it is a big old picture with like 1,000 names underneath it. What does that do for you? It does nothing. But if you can surround that tag with some form of encouragement, what are you doing? You're giving them a reason to carry on, because you are saying, I see you. And people just want to be seen. People want to be recognized. And so this is what the whole point of this whole thing that I do is to try and build up some sort of rapport with my team, all right? And that's what you need to do. Another thing that I did when I started out was, and I did this right in the beginning, and that was whenever I did a follow-up video and I saw somebody joining my team, I would mention their name in that video. And I'm not just saying this as an antidote, and like, you know, just mention their name. I really, really cared about that person. And it really is genuine. When you say a person's name, you're thinking about them, they're on your mind, and you say that person's name, it does so much for that other person to know that you're actually thinking of them. And so if you take nothing else away from this hangout, what I want you to understand is the more you can put yourself in front of your customer so they can see that you're a real person. A lot of people that have joined my team have said to me, Dave, the reason I went with you was because I could see you. I could see that you were a real person, and that you came across as genuine. And that's an encouragement to me, first of all. And it's a huge, I mean, just that is a huge encouragement to me. But when you have a belief in people, it does something to them. It really, really does. And it actually gets to a point where the people that you are training will actually end up encouraging you. I remember I've always said this to people. I've said, people say, oh, Dave, there's no more videos. There's no more product reviews to do. I can't do anymore. What must I do? And I just said, start again. Start at the beginning. Do it again. That's what I said, because I used to do it. And just the other day, I said the same thing to Steve. And you know what he said? Dave, do it again. That's what he said to me. I mean, that's right, exactly what he said to me. And
I said, do it again, bro. Do it again.
Do it again. And this is the whole thing about holding each other accountable, not in a scary way, but also that we remind each other that we need to persevere. Because let me tell you something. When you get in this industry, you cannot do it alone. If you think you can do it alone, it's a huge, huge mistake. You cannot do this alone. You've got to have a community of people that are going to help you. And just like I say in my video series, you need to have traffic. You need to have a system that works. You need to have a mentor. You need to have a mentor. And even if you can't get an actual physical mentor, that's why we have the inner circle inside the Empower Network, because those are just full of mentors that you can follow. You need to have training, all right? You need to have training. If you don't have training, you've got to figure it out all by yourself. And that's why we have a system that actually does work. I was reminded about a quote the other day, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think I'm just going to remember a part of it. And it said something like this, that freedom, like if you go to prison, you get clothes, you get food, you get health benefits, you get all of this stuff. But the one thing you don't have is freedom. And what's interesting is that if you really want freedom, there's a risk of losing the other stuff as well. You cannot be truly free if you're going to want to be comfortable as well. And I want you to realize that if you go to prison, you give up your freedom, but you get a roof over your head, you get food, you get all of that stuff, but you lose your freedom. And I'm saying that if you want to get your freedom, if you want to be financially free, if you want to be a person who doesn't have to worry about shopping or the price of things, you're going to have to take some risks, and you're going to have to put some effort into your business. All right, that means going ahead and upgrading to the top producer formula to learn the secrets of the 6 and 7 figure earners. That means going to team building formula. Let me tell you, and Stephen will, because I know that Stephen is on the same path that I am. I know that he's going to make it, because Stephen bought the top producer formula. It's Stephen. How much was that product in rands? How much was that product?
It's $500 US, so that's what, like six grand something.
It's 6,500 rand. Now I want you to guys think about this. 6,500 rand. I want you to think about, imagine paying for a product that was $6,500. Would you be able to afford it? Let me tell you this, and before you say no, you can't really compare, you absolutely can. Because just to give you an idea, $100 is a quarter of a salary in this country. A quarter, all right? So the fact that we have to spend 6,500 rand on a product is a huge, huge burden on South Africans. Now, if I can do it, if Steve can do it, you absolutely can do it. And I went and I purchased the team building formula, and that's $1,000 product. I tell you something. That's 14,000 rand. Okay, that's like that's
an engineer's salary.
Yeah, that's an engineer's salary, and I spent that in one go, and my heart nearly dropped out of my chest because it was so scary. I felt like I was taking so much risk, but the truth is, if I want my freedom, I have to take something away, and do you understand what I'm saying, Steve, about the differences?
Of course. And hasn't that team building formula paid off for you, bro?
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
You learn blogging, you learn solo ads, you learn everything, bro. Outsourcing.
Yeah, I tell you, that product, I mean, it's the product I really, really wanted. It was like from the day one, I wanted that product because it's a main how-to product. But I want to say to you guys,
I bet you appreciate the hell out of that product, paying that much for
yeah.
it.
I don't even tell my friends. I don't tell my friends that I bought a product for 14,000 rand. They would look at me, as we would say, skew. They wouldn't know what to do. They'd be, are you out of your mind? Why would you even? Are you out of your? What is wrong with you? That's like a plane ticket. That's a plane ticket right there to the US, of which I'm paying to go to Vegas, and so is Stephen. So, here's the other thing I want to leave with you, and that is, I might be going a bit off topic here, but I feel this is quite important, and that is, I've got it written down here. I live below the comfort line. When I got started. I had nothing to my name, nothing. All right, and when I say nothing, $25 for me was a huge amount of money. Now, the only way that I could afford that was by putting away what I call dumb money. All right, so I want you to seriously think about what you absolutely need and what you can do without. Make a list. And if you are serious about your business, if you are serious about taking your business to the next level, what I want you to do is to make that list, and I want you to write down exactly what it is you really need. All right. So cut back on all the stuff, all the junk food, all the, you go out and buy candy bars and whatever your case. I find it so hard to say candy bars. Goodness me. We always say chocolates. All right, chocolates and sweets and chocolates. But if you go you get something, you're always buying things that you don't need. And I want you to calculate that up and say to yourself, is this something I actually need? And I remember speaking to somebody, he said, you know what, I saved a lot of money just cutting all of that stuff out. So take whatever you have and really think about what you want to do. And I say this every time, rather work incredibly hard now so that you can have an easier life later than to take it easy now and work your backside off later. All right? Because let me, one of the things that scared me was the fact that when I reached an age of the fact that I'm retiring, and that isn't too far. I mean, for me, it's coming up, 65 is retirement age here. And, I've spent just about over half my life not having a real career. And time does catch up with you. And what really scared me was the fact that when I reached that age, what the heck? Who am I I can't let people take care of me. That's why I'm working so hard now. People say to me all the time, Dave, you're working so hard, you have no fun. And I'm saying, you know what? I'm putting 5 years of my life where I can work incredibly hard so that I don't have to worry about retirement. And I'll tell you right now, I don't worry about money because I'm at a stage now where I'm financially able to take care of myself. I don't worry about bills that come in the mail. I actually look forward to that because I can pay it so easily. And I want you to know, watching this, that you can do exactly the same that I do. Somebody once said to me, Dave, what is the secret? What is it that you're actually doing? Why are you succeeding so much and I'm not? And I say the same thing over and over and over again. Take hold of the strategies, master one, and be consistent. Be consistent. And I don't mean be consistent for a week or 2 weeks. I'm saying be consistent. Set yourself a goal of 90 days with a 12-month commitment. And say to yourself, I am never going to give up until I succeed with this business. And if you want to have freedom, if you want to have real freedom, I would say risk the other things of having, food, shelter, clothes, and all of the warmth and comforts of life. Have risked some of those things because you can't have one without the other. You can either be imprisoned in life, and then of course your freedom is very limited, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to take on freedom and I'm going to take a little bit of risk because I know that all I need to do is to be consistent. The people that climb up to the top of Mount Everest, a lot of them fail, and only a few percent make it to the top. And the 100% thing that is true of every single person that has succeeded is that every single one of those people has been consistent. That's all it takes, is to be consistent. And so I know I've rambled on for a while now. I don't know if this has helped anybody or if this is, if you've got any questions. But Steve, maybe you want to say something along the lines of, being consistent and something like that. Maybe you've got something you want to share with people.
Yeah, man. Going back to that thing you said about when people sign up to your team and you don't do anything, and it ties in your strategy. Like, when you get someone new in your team and you get those emails, so-and-so watched this video, he didn't purchase this, those type of emails. Now, if you send them an email with a video about you and that, like, let's say the inner circle, and you show them an inner circle audio and you show them what value you got out of it and like a result or something that you learned from that audio, and they watch that, they're like, damn, that's cool, I need to get this product. And then that'll help with the people purchasing through the level up sequence, and it'll just benefit them in the long run and you overall.
Yeah, man. It's so amazing how, you actually don't realize, because if you can think about your mind as you've got limited knowledge until you get something else. And what you don't realize is that, I mean, I do this with people all the time. People say to me, it's a religious argument. I say this to the time, but somebody will say to me, I don't believe in God. And that's fine if you don't believe in God, but I would just say to the person, how much information do you know in the world? And they say, well, I don't know. I say, well, would it be fair to say, maybe 10% of all the information in the world? And they say, I suppose, okay, well, let's just say it's 10%. How do you know God doesn't exist in the other 90%? The point I'm making is that your limited knowledge, you may think that you know everything, or you may think that you have certain limitations. You may think that you can't get to that level, but you don't know that, because you don't know all the information there is in the world until you realize it. So that's why we say plug into those inner circles, because they are full of gems. And when you start putting those things into practice, you start to see results. And that inner circle, speak the world into existence, is unbelievable.
Man, I must have listened to that about 5 times, and it's not short. It's like 2 hours.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? It's like, it's like an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, it's like an hour and like 50 minutes.
50 minutes, sheesh. I tell you, I know. I listened to it twice on the way back home on a trip once, and I was just sitting there doing nothing, and I had to listen to it, and it was just something in there that got me working.
Fired up.
If you have that extra bit of knowledge, that extra bit of information, which is going to give you that push, maybe you're not doing something right. Like, you come on this hangout now, and you think, well, I'm just putting all these leads and nothing's really happening. What am I going to do? You've come on the hangout now. I've told you what I do. That's a bit of extra information you can utilize in your business. You probably, maybe you didn't even know about that strategy. It's extra information. And that's why we are so adamant about getting into the other products. So you see a list of products above you or below this video, where you've got custom packages on the left, and you've got builder packages. Now, if you're not in Empower Network, and you want to just get started, I would recommend, my recommendation would be to start ideally at the top producer formula, all right, this producer level, the third one here, because then you get everything underneath it, all right? If you can't afford that, I would highly then go for the mindset level on the right. Click on that button there. And then, of course, obviously, the higher you go, the more information you're going to get. And not only that, guys, but you're earning bigger commissions. And this isn't just a business about selling a business. This is an internet marketing university, which is going to set you up for success in any venture you take later. So it's going to help you to set up a business so you can blog about anything you want to. But all of this stuff here trains you how to do it. It's the cheapest university for marketing ever. And I'm sure Ryan will say the same thing. He says they don't teach anywhere near the type of training you get inside of Empower Network. So that's what I would highly suggest. You want to say anything, Steve?
Yeah, the top producer formula level is definitely the way I would start there, because that first video alone in the top producer formula is worth the price of the whole course, in my opinion. And I've gone through it about 3 times.
And it's awesome stuff. Absolutely.
It is awesome.
But the cool thing is they keep on building on this. It's not like it's going to be outdated. They keep on building on the products, which means it's never going to be outdated, which is just a great source of information.
And not to mention, if you get the top producer formula, you still get the Costa Rica with that, and that goes along with all the other products. There's actually 2 products with every product in Empower.
Yeah, that's right.
And and it's just lengthy information that's just gonna super rock your results.
Do you guys have any questions at all? Is this making sense? Is it clear as mud? So I know there's a delay.
Let me check the comments.
Time for a commercial break.
There's about a 10-second delay, I think.
Yeah, people are going, what are you talking about?
I say,
All right.
everybody's quiet.
Everyone's quiet. Guys, we also want to say that straight after this, at the top of the hour, is the Empower Network Empower Hour call. Get on that call. All right. So if you don't have a link to it, ask your sponsor and they'll send you a link to go and listen to it. Get on that call so that you can educate yourself and learn some more information. And I believe David Wood is doing some training on there as well.
That's going to be good.
Okay, let's see. Thanks, Jennifer. Hey, the relationship guys, Johnny and Jeff.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, Ryan? What's up, Cedric?
Cedric, let's see. Nobody else is there. Is everyone else just not saying anything? Goodness me. You know, you guys, another thing you want to know about successful people that actually take action. They're in there on the comments and they're commenting because they want, you can actually see them right there. Jennifer, the relationship guys, Johnny and Jeff, Ryan, Cedric, all of these guys, they want to learn. And the more you interact, the more you communicate with people, the more you're going to succeed in your business. So I think that's about it. Unless, Steve, you got something else to say?
That's it, bro.
All right. So
give them time to get on that Empower Hour. Get their ducks in a row.
Absolutely. Let's try and leave them with another South African little tidbit. What could we?
Let me think.
Let me think.
Chop.
Sure.
If you say somebody is a chop, that means they're like an idiot or they're making a fool of themselves. You just call them a chop.
Yeah, you call them a chop.
Which is also a food item here in South Africa. So
Chop, yeah. Yeah, there's like so many of them.
give them a link to.
We also have a community of people that talk about expressions. I suppose you can only really say this in South Africa. You know, when they talk about putting sky in your rounds. Have you heard that one?
Not often, but I've heard it.
Put some sky in your rounds means to put some air in your tires.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to say, hold on. I think I have a question of someone a month ago, and I have over 21 people, but it seems like they're not getting my emails for follow-up. All right. You know what? Are these, okay, first of all, Cedric, are these people...
What you can do there is you can...
Carry on?
Okay, carry on, bro. Oh,
No,
I was going to say what you can do there is check the open rates of your emails, and you can actually see the list of the people that open them. Or are you talking about opt-ins or people in your team? I'm not sure.
Yeah, are you talking about people in your team or people or your leads? Just waiting. Also, realize that there is a kind of like, you can look this up online about words that you need to stay away from in your autoresponder.
Yeah.
So you don't want to say stuff like make money online. You want to stay away from that. Stay away from it just comes automatically sometimes, but you can actually look it up online. Just Google words to avoid in an autoresponder. Your leads.
Work from home and stuff like that.
Yeah, work from home. Yeah, try and be as professional as you possibly can.
Home-based
That
business.
way, it doesn't get to their spam folder. There should be a spam counter right at the end. If it says 1 out of 10, you're good. If it says 7 out of 10, you need to go back and check your spam count, and perhaps get hold of the autoresponder, the people at the autoresponder to find out, what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any other questions? I think we're done.
All right, guys, that was a brilliant hangout.
Yeah, that was awesome. Guys, thank you so much for coming here. I hope that it's been helpful. I hope that you've taken something away. And also, if you're in the team, remember that you can take this hangout and share it with your team, so they can actually see it as well. I'll keep this hangout going for a few days, so you can actually go ahead and share this with your team. And until next week, we will see you again. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.